Welcome. Today's yoga session is really going to focus in on the neck and lower back. We're going to really focus in on the alignment of the neck while building some strength in the core and lower back, and of course, stretching it out. We're going to start in a seated position, come into standing, and then we're going to revisit that exact same seated position at the end so we can see how far we've come. But first, let's get started. Lift all the way up through the crown of your head. Remember, lower body does not matter. I do not care what's going on from the hips down. What I want you to do is find length in the spine for a few breaths, whatever that is for you. This is your time to let go of wherever you were before you rolled out your mat. So try to let the thoughts pass by. Welcome. Lift up through the crown. Maybe you need to focus on those shoulders down and back a little bit. Think about it's like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, but it's those muscles that are right above your shoulder blades that you're actually using to keep this great alignment through the upper body. And then depending on yourself, you might have to draw the chin back slightly so then the head is over the heart and then the hips. It's very easy to think we're sitting up tall, but not have our heads stacked over our spine. And this is the most important part. Try to notice where your breath is. So you can have your hands in whatever position is comfortable, but you might also take one to the heart and one to the belly just so you can focus in on what your breath is doing. Because remember, we have our natural way of breathing, but during our entire practice, we want to elongate the breath. We want to notice what's going on so that we can help heal the body by bringing more oxygen and even energy to our cells. Couple more big breaths. Try to relax the space between your eyes. Bring space between your teeth so that our jaw is nice and relaxed. Shoulders hang down to the earth a little bit more. All right. Let's lift those arms up overhead with a big inhale. Exhale and float them back down. One more. Lift up. Find lightness all the way through your fingers. Get a big stretch. And let it flow down. Just trying to find a little bit more length. Last time, all the way up. And down. Let's take a big gather. Inhaling, hands to heart. Exhale, take your palms and push them out to the side. Big stretch through the arms. Notice the alignment here. Inhale, gather. Helping open up through the chest and the lungs. Exhale, push out. Stretch through your fingertips of your palms. Inhale, gather one more time. Exhale, push out. Now let's drop our right hand down. Bring the left hand overhead. Bend through your side body. Always being aware of our neck, right? So we could focus in on that alignment, making sure our head is still in line with our spine. We could twist open or look down to the earth. When we look down to the earth, we make sure our chin is in line with our shoulder. That's going to help with the alignment of your neck, and you might get a great stretch through as well. All right, next inhale, bring both arms up. Exhale, drop the left arm, extend through that right side. Remember to push into your right hip, so you might feel a little stretch down through the lower back and the hips, as well as the rib and shoulder area. Remember to bend into your left arm, and again, focus on that alignment of your head. So are you looking up and twisting, looking down, or just keeping it neutral? Usually looking down feels the best because we can focus on that alignment and relaxation through the neck a little bit more. All right, inhaling up, both arms to the sky, reach through again, and then float them down. Roll those shoulders back one time. Let them find neutral and stretch out your legs. Always a moment of being seated. Let's stretch them out in whatever way feels good. So is that rolling the joints? Is it just curling the toes? Do you want to tap? Do you want to squeeze or give them just a rub of getting energy through? It does not matter. Every day is going to feel different based on what you did the day before, or maybe how you slept, or just whatever is going on with your day emotionally or mentally. It's going to affect how we feel. So right now, I want to encourage you throughout our entire session, find what feels best. All right, let's move off of whatever it is that we're sitting on. We're going to take 1 or 2 forward folds. Now, we can focus in on our hamstrings. We can also focus in on our lower back. Either way, move your thighs to the side. You can have your hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. You could also take them out a little bit wider as long as you're still aware that your feet are in alignment. Don't like curl them in or out, okay? Sit up nice and tall first. Bring your hands to the sides. I want you to notice how this feels. So again, you might have to focus on drawing back a little bit. We don't want to be forward. Draw back, lift up, shoulders down. Now, if this feels fine, bring the arms out in front, palms facing. This takes a lot of strength, believe it or not, to keep engaged through your lower back and your core so you can still sit up nice and tall. Now, when we do our forward fold, it's your choice as to whether you would like to bend your knees or keep them nice and straight. But we're going to inhale and we're going to reach up first, and then we're going to exhale and hinge forward. Now, if you keep your legs straight, try not to round too much unless you really want that opening through your upper back. We can still hit that lower back a little bit if we not try to keep our spine straight, or bend your knees and maybe wrap your arms underneath. The goal right now is to try to bring your torso as close as you can to your thighs. That's going to help release the lower back. Take a couple more breaths, finding what feels best for your body. And then release. Roll the shoulders back. Bend your right leg in. We're going to bring that foot in first. This is going to help through our lower back as well. So now we can focus in on this a little bit more. Right now, turn towards your left foot. So turn from your torso. See if you can find a release of the spine. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward only towards that left leg. So you might notice that you can reach further. Try to keep that length in your spine. If we round too much, we're going to get compression. Try to really focus in so you have a nice flat back, and we're opening up through the lower back here. Release on your inhale, come up, stretch out the right leg, left foot comes in. Toes come back. Turn your torso to your right leg, engage that leg. We want to have a strong base to lift out of. Then we lengthen our spine. And as we hinge forward on our exhale, we try to keep that length and fold just to where we can, and then release the arms down. Every day is going to be different. Each side is going to feel a little bit different. The more you draw your toes back, the more engagement you'll have through your leg for a solid base, but you'll also help increase that stretch. If your foot is trying to turn one direction or the other, imagine that you have a plank of wood in front of it, or grab your strap and put it around the ball of your foot so then we can pull on that foot evenly. All right, inhale up. We'll bring our feet together for one moment. So coming into a nice triangle kind of butterfly pose. Remember, it's up to you. Do you want to come close in? Do you want to expand out? What feels good? And then you could flow. Inhale, relax and round. Exhale, sit up tall. Inhale, release. Exhale, pressing down, sit up tall. You could hold or even fold, but focus in on the alignment of your spine. How do you feel? How's your neck feeling? Do you need to tuck back again? Do you need to roll your shoulders down? Think about hinging your torso from your hips again. One more big breath. And then release. Coming up, draw those knees together. We'll come onto our hands and knees for a moment. Cat and cow is really good for our neck and our lower back. We always want to check our alignment first. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, palms spread nice and wide so we get a stretch. Unlock your elbows and try to engage through your arms so you're pushing out of your shoulders. Knees under hips, feet relaxed or toes curled back to stretch through the feet, whatever feels good for you. And we think about dropping our belly and lifting our hips up. Now you can look to a neutral position. You could look up a little bit. And then exhaling, chin to chest, navel to spine, tucking your hips so that the navel goes to your spine. And then we inhale and we release. Drop the belly, try to soften everything, look up a little bit, and then round everything and really tuck. Pull the shoulder blades apart. Let your head hang so that you're looking towards your navel. And then release on your inhale. One more big stretch. And then release. And we're going to relax our feet. We're going to stretch our legs really quickly before we come to downward dog because I want downward dog to be about the lower back and not just the legs. So take your left foot back first. Spread all your toes into the mat or the floor and then push out of your palms and into your heel. So there should be not a lot of weight in the palms and you're really sending that heel towards the earth. Make sure, look at your feet, that you have all your toes on the mat or ground because that's what's going to give you the best stretch through your leg. Keep your back nice and flat, maybe engaging through the abs a little bit. Head's neutral, so you might need to pull up a little bit using the neck muscles. And then we release. And we switch. Right leg goes back. Spread those toes wide. Push out of the palms and into that right heel. Again, think about where your neck is. Don't just let it hang too much. Remember, we're trying to build strength in all these areas. The best way to help with any pain that we might be experiencing is to strengthen the area. It's not just about stretching. We also want to strengthen. Okay, release. We're going to come into downward dog. Now I want you to be very aware, first and foremost, we're going to bring our palms about a foot ahead of where they are. Depending on your shoulders, your fingertips might point completely forward, or you might adjust so that you're making a triangle shape with your thumb and your pointer finger. This is going to change the rotation of your shoulders. If you have any injuries like myself, that might feel better. I want you to curl back your toes, and I want you to be aware of the space between your legs is hips distance apart right now. I want you to keep that as you lift up and keep a bend in the knees. So we're focusing on the lower back. Lift your hips. Let your head hang, but make sure that you're pushing out of your shoulders. And lift your hips up as high as you can. Think about getting one line from your arms through your hips going to the sky. Now, it's up to you if you'd like to pedal the feet, one pushing in and then the other. So bending one leg, straightening the other. Downward dog is not about getting your heels to the earth. It's about getting your hips up as high as you can. Feel that weight even from your big toe side to your little toe side. Push out of your shoulders, so we're using our muscles, and think about letting your head hang. Can you feel lengthening through your lower back? And you're welcome to take a few more breaths there, or maybe your shoulders. need a break, and then you bring your feet towards your hands and you slowly hang down and then slowly come up whenever you're ready. If you hang with your knees bent and you let your torso come towards your thighs a little bit, you're going to help lengthen through that lower back area. Whenever you're ready, we'll come up into our mountain pose. So that just means feet hips distance, fingers reach to the earth. This is your practice. So you join whenever you're ready and you take a few breaths here. Now you could close your eyes and focus inward, challenging your balance a little bit. I want you to feel the weight in your feet. How we stand plays a big role. So right now, try to roll the shoulders down and back. Draw that chin back a little bit. Drop the tailbone. Don't over tuck, but don't have your legs locked and your bottom sticking out. Soften through your knees. Use the lower back muscles right now. One of the best things we can do for strengthening kind of this whole area and as well as bringing energy is sun salutations. Sun salutations will get your body into shape faster than anything else. That being said, not everyone can do them, including myself right now. What we can do instead is a half or quarter sun salutation. So we inhale, the arms come up and we lengthen through our body. Then we exhale and we hinge forward as much as we can, keeping our back nice and flat, and then we let everything go. Then we inhale and we lengthen, bringing our hands to our shins. Really find a flat back here, looking out. Then we exhale and we fold again. Now when we inhale and we come up, we try to hit that flat back. So we have to use the glutes, the abs, and the lower back. And then we exhale and the arms come to the side. Now this being said, your arms could go out in front or they could go to the side. So inhaling, arms up. Exhale forward or out to the side. What feels good for your shoulders? Try to relax fully. Then look up and out. So we're looking ahead here. Then we fold and we relax. And when we come up, we try to hit that flat back. So then we have to use more muscles to come up. And then we relax down. Okay, we're going to do one more. So again, arms are your choice. Inhale up, go out to the side or forward, up to you. Try to hit that flat back and then let everything hang. Then come up. Then fold again. And all the way up. Big inhale. Do you feel those muscles working? Maybe in a new way? If you did 5 full sun salutations a day, it would change your world. Now, it's not always possible, so we do those in between. That being said, we're going to do 2 more just to get you feeling that flow. Fold. Feel the weight in your feet. Do you feel that stretch of your legs? Relaxing down. Then you hit a flat back on your inhale, so we try to look out. Then we fold again. Then we go all the way up. Try to hit that flat back so we use the muscles and then relax. Okay, one more. Following your own breath. We always inhale up. And we exhale and fold. Inhaling, flat back. Exhaling, fold. Inhale all the way up. Make it your best one yet. And then release. We're going to start by finding a little bit of balance on our toes. So we're going to inhale and we're going to lift up onto our toes. Arms come up, float up. Exhale, lower down. Now, as you come up, I want to remind you, there is no reason to come all the way up as high as you can. The goal is where's the weight on your feet. So even from your big toe side to your little toe side, a little bit goes a long way versus trying to push and having that weight shift. So feel the weight even. So then we're using our calves evenly as we challenge our balance. Inhaling up. and exhaling, float down. One more. Up. The arms help with the balance and release. Okay, now we're going to shift and we're going to come into a tree pose. So do you want your arms up, overhead, hands to heart, or even out in front? First and foremost, find your balance on your right leg. Just keep your left toes touching. Then bring them to center, maybe touch on the ground, or go to your calf. We always want to avoid the knee. It's not meant to go to the side direction. So next is bringing it all the way up, and you really do have to push into your thigh to keep the foot at this level. Now hands are at whatever position is comfortable for you. With my shoulder, I'm just going to keep the hands to the heart. You could also hold onto a piece of furniture, preferably on the side of the right side this time. Try right now, relax your standing foot. So relax the right foot. Make sure the knee is not locked out. Remember, we're all going to wobble. Our body is making micro adjustments to hold our balance. But we want to see if we can kind of lengthen through the crown of the head. Let the shoulders hang down. And if we're wobbling a lot, we just touch and then we come back whenever we're ready. We don't want to fight so much that we feel uncomfortable or let our breath become shortened. Ready? Great job. Let's release. Okay, so first we shift. We lift up till we're on the right toes and we say, okay, we feel solid, our foot's relaxed. Then maybe we just bring it into center. Maybe we touch the calf. Try here even to relax your lower back. That's going to make you relax your knee so it's not locked out. And then we bring it up. And we have to push into the side. You'll notice everyone has one side that's stronger than the other. Pressing into the thigh actually requires a lot of foot and ankle strength from the right side. This side I struggle with since breaking my foot, but using the intention to push into the thigh and actually pushing back almost with the standing leg helps. So relax your foot, lift up a little bit taller. Choose your arm position. It does not matter, okay? What matters is can you relax through the upper body and can you feel heavy through the legs so we're growing roots into the earth as we lift and stand up nice and tall. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. Such incredible balance today. Ready? Release. Okay, find your center. We're going to take our legs wide. We're going to insert a forward fold here. So this time toes turn in. Now I want to remind you, whenever we do a forward fold, you can let yourself fully hang or you can bring your forearms to your thighs here, folding forward for a flat back. It's up to you. So choose what feels good. Toes point in, make sure you're on one line. You can inhale arms up or hands and squeeze the shoulder blades if your shoulders feel good. Inhaling, we lift the heart, and then we exhale and we hinge forward. So rotating from our hips the other way. When we do tree pose, we're rotating our hips outward. Now we have them rotating inward. So think about lifting your hips up to the sky again. You can bend into your knees even here to focus more on your lower back, but you'll probably want to bring your forearms to your thighs then. It's all about finding what feels best for your body. One more breath, hanging down. And then depending on how you feel, you could slowly come up, or you could try and hit that strength piece again by bringing your hands to your hips. Try to hit a flat back and then squeeze everything so you come up. Now rotate on your toes one at a time so that your heels come in. We're going to sink down into what we call as a goddess pose. Now this is about rotating from your hips. So think about from your hip crease right here, can you rotate outward? Arms come up, palms to the sky like you're kind of balancing or it's a scale. Drop your tailbone, engage through your abs here. So we tuck and we go down. It's as low as you want to go, or you can pulse. You can kind of go up and release, and then you can go back down. It's up to you. I want you to find what feels best. The more you go down, the more of a stretch you're going to feel on top of the strength piece, but we're going to take 2 or 3 more big breaths. Relax the arms and the shoulders. Lift through the crown of the head and move or hold in a way that feels good. Ready? Push up, reach, arms down, and release. Turn on your heels or your toes to get your feet straight. We're going to work a little bit of spine, a little bit of abs and lower back with a twist that's as far as feels good for you. Arms extend. We're going to turn a little bit. And we're going to go back to center. Now, as we're here, I want you to think about your lower back. If you have your bottom sticking out, you're not going to be able to turn. We have to drop everything down so we can turn freely. It makes a big difference, okay? Now you could keep going with this, okay? Or you can add in a fold. So that means we lean forward and we touch to our knee, our shin, or our toes, and then we come up. Try to keep your back flat. Try to keep your head in line. So maybe if the neck hurts, we just tap a little bit. We're still getting a lot out of this movement. Maybe you can touch all the way to the toes and keep your back flat. It does not matter. What matters is how it feels. Extending through the arms, finding how you can use your lower back and your abs, keeping that length through your spine. As we turn and twist, you might exhale and fold and inhale up. Couple more rounds. A little bit of strength for everything here. You might feel it through the arms and shoulders. You might feel your hips opening. Right. Let's do one more round. We'll finish both sides. Whenever you're ready, coming up. And then release the arms. Roll the shoulders back. Let them find neutral. Turn towards the front of your mat. Your choice. Half or quarter sun salutation with me. Then bringing those legs out, we'll come and lay on our back with our knees up. So if you want to do a full sun salutation with a chaturanga or lowering down, up dog, down dog, feel free. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Hands to your shins, looking up. Exhale, bend your knees, ground your palms. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, drop to your knees, lower down, or downward facing dog, wherever you choose. Honoring my shoulder, I'm just going to turn and come and lay on my back with my knees up. Do what feels best for you. Did you want to hit that downward dog? I encourage you to do what you'd like, okay? Eventually, we'll make our way down. Now, you can keep your knees up to the sky, or you can bring them to your chest. Maybe you want to release that lower back. So it's really up to you. Do you want to keep your feet on the earth? Do you want to rock on your knees? I want you to listen to your body. You could have your feet out to the edge of your mat and the knees into the center. When we're on the mat, it's a great opportunity to focus on our posture. So we want to think about maybe squeezing our shoulder blades together so that more of our back is on the mat, and we can lift our hips to the sky for a moment and then lower back down so that we have length through our whole spine. We also lift our chin to the sky so we have this natural curve in our neck. Now, believe it or not, this is how we should be standing all the time. It takes practice and it takes awareness every day to help heal our body, but it's worth it. Take 2 more breaths, whatever way feels good for you, relaxing or knees to chest. Now we're going to do a small bridge next. So if you have a block, it's a great way to build strength through the legs as well if we use that block between our legs. The goal is to have your hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. And we can bring our arms down the side of our body so that our palms end up by our hips. And it's up to you how close your heels are to your feet, to your palms. So your fingertips may or may not brush your back of your heels. Now, the first thing I want you to do, I want you to draw your navel to your spine and press your lower back into the mat. So your hips are lifting up a little bit. This is going to help lengthen through your lower back. Then we're going to peel up one vertebrae at a time until maybe just our shoulder blades and the back of our head are on the mat. So we squeeze through the glutes and the lower back and we lift those hips up as high as possible. We notice what muscles we feel working. And then we try to slowly roll down the same way we came up until that lower back is on the mat, and then we let the hips go. So you might play around with the position of your feet. You might bring them closer or take them further away. Then press the lower back in. Draw the navel to the spine first. Tilt your hips so they're lifting up off the mat. Then slowly lift up. One vertebrae at a time. Notice the shoulder blades on the mat. Notice the lower back and glutes working, maybe even a little bit of the thighs to help push up a little bit higher. You can lace your fingers behind the back if that's a possibility for you. Bringing the shoulder blades together a little bit more will help you have the ability to lift up even higher. And then we're going to roll back down. So release the arms and then bring the knees to the chest. Take that block out of there. Hug them in nice and tight, circle or rock. Remembering strength and stretch is the key, not just one or the other. We want to bring a little bit of both. All right, let's let our feet hit the ground. Now I'm going to give you a couple of choices because I want you to listen to your body. So the first choice is just bringing the knees to the chest and the toes to the sky. Now you could have your arms down the side of your body. You could have the hands on your belly. You could stay here and just have a nice relaxed position. You could even go put your feet up a wall if that is like accessible in your home, okay? Remember while you're here that your chin is lifted to the sky and your shoulder blades are on the mat. Let everything hang back to your mat. Now you could extend your legs and push your heels to the sky to get a great stretch here. You could bring your palms facing each other, arms to the sky. I'm going to give you a bunch of options. You could relax your legs again and you could work lower abs, lifting toes up. So little lift, if I exaggerate. Okay, but when we actually do it, it's a little lift, little abs. Do you want a happy baby pose? Maybe that's what you're feeling. You want to get your hips open. You bring your arms to the inside of your legs and the palms to the outside. And you pull down knees to chest, or you take a strap and you pull down on that strap. Everyone is different. I just want you to find what feels best for your body right now. These are all creating the same things where everyone is having blood flow go back to their heart, but some of us might be using a little bit more muscles than others. Some of us might be opening the hips a little bit more than others. It's your practice. Take a few more breaths in whatever way feels good. You could switch between all of the things. Doesn't matter. If you choose that happy baby pose, there's always that option to kind of rock from side to side or straighten the legs. One more big breath. And then we'll release and we'll bring those knees into the chest. Hug them in tight and let your feet hit the floor. We're going to come into our twists. So final movements here. Twists are a great way to choose a variation that again works best for your body. We start by either bringing our arms out like a T or a cross so that our palms are pressing into the mat and they're at shoulder height. Or we bend our elbows so that our palms face the sky and we look like a field goal post or cactus. Now you could straighten your left leg and bring your right knee to your chest and then go across if you just wanted to do a one-sided twist. You could lift your hips up and bring them to the right side and then both knees go to chest. Or even wrap your legs, one around the other. It's up to you. The one thing I want you to kind of focus in on is how is your spine? A lot of the times when we do these reclined twists, our spine will start to dip towards the earth at our belly, so it'll make kind of like a smile from our hips through our belly to our chest. We want to see if we can make our spine straight and parallel to the ground. So we're really just working on this twist, and that comes from how our hips are positioned. You can keep your chin lifted to the sky in a neutral position. You could turn and look to the opposite side if that felt good. Either way, it's completely up to you with what feels best for your body. Two more breaths on this side. Try to relax that right shoulder down to the earth. Check in on your alignment one more time. And then we'll release and we'll ease off. We'll come back to center, maybe realigning the hips, knees to chest to straighten out our spine. Hug them in tight. And then feet hit the ground. Arms go back out, either like a T or field goal posts. This time you can straighten the right leg, left knee comes up and across, or lift the hips, bring them to the left side. Knees to chest, and then across. Remember that left shoulder is going to peel up off the mat. You're going to get a big opening up through the chest here as well, and you can keep your chin lifted to the sky or turn and look to the other side. Again, try to be aware of your spine position. So don't let that belly drop and collapse so we have that smile from our hips through our chest with our spine. Try to keep it nice and straight and only twist as far as is comfortable. Remember, we can always use blocks or blankets between our knees or underneath them so that we're not stretching as far with this twist and can focus more on that spine being parallel to the ground. Two more big breaths. Really try to open up through your chest, let the shoulders hang down. Check your alignment again. And then release. Come back to center. Realign your position. Bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Hug them in tight. And then let your feet hit the ground. Stretch your legs out long, one foot to each side of your mat. Coming into our final resting pose, remember, it's a short portion, a very, very small portion of our practice, but it's especially key after our twists. So make sure you have a nice straight spine. I want you to check in on your shoulders. You might want to draw them down and back. Chin lifted to the sky, so we have a neutral neck position. Hands on the belly, palms to the sky, either way, space under the arms. Feet start dangling to the side as you soften through the pelvis. And you let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Remember, it's natural for your mind to wander, but we want to take this time to give our bodies a moment to rest before we return to that exact seated position that we started this session in. It's a key part of our practice, knowing how far we've come. But first, a moment of rest. Try to soften your forehead and your jaw again. Maybe you focus in on that rise and fall of your belly, letting that capture your attention. Few more breaths. Full relaxation. And then elongate your breath. Full belly, then navel to spine. Then wiggle the fingers. Wiggle the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. We lift one leg and then the other so they go to center, and then the arms come overhead. We stretch from the fingers through the torso all the way down to the toes, and then we relax. Release the arms, lift one leg and then the other. Hips to one side, rolling to the other. We pause for a breath or two. And then we use our top arm to push up into that seated position. So if you were sitting on a blanket or a block, I invite you to grab it. I want you to sit in the same position. This is how we see or feel the difference. It's a big part of why we practice, right? We know it helps our body, but right now, returning to that seated position, what do you notice that's changed? Close your eyes for a moment. How does your neck and shoulders feel? How's your back feeling? What about the hips? Even the legs, all the way down to the toes. Now, if there's anything else you need to carry you throughout your day or your week or whenever I see you next, take a big inhale and gather those arms overhead. And then let that energy settle down in your heart. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Remember, if you found value in this content, click that like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this, and maybe visit my website, ladytaichi.com, where you can find out more information about me and all these wonderful practices. Remember, a few minutes a day goes a long way to helping you feel your best. So no matter what's going on, maybe injuries or something else, remember to move. That's going to help you feel your best. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope to see you again soon.